What's up, airplane collectors? It's time for a model airplane review. I'm your host Ray, and today I'll be reviewing the Gemini 200 1:200 scale United Express Embraer E-175, item number G2UAL1406, released for October of 2025. The box is made from cardboard. The packaging is made from white foam. This box measures 19.5 centimeters long, 6.6 centimeters wide, and 19.4 centimeters tall. I will show you around the box now. This is the front. Here's the bottom, right side, top, left side, and the back side. This box features a magnetic flap that allows you to partially expose the model and its accessories. Included in the box is the model as shown here, fully assembled, painted, and ready to display. Also included is a partially disassembled display stand which requires assembly upon opening the box. This display stand is honestly not a very good display stand in that it does not have the structural integrity necessary to support the model. The model is quite heavy, and this centerpiece here is made out of plastic, and I believe this will degrade over time under the weight of the model, which poses the risk of the display stand failing and causing catastrophic damage to the model. Additionally, the part that goes into the model, which is this part right here, you'll notice it's kind of circular with the cross section there. The diameter is too big, meaning that it is too big to fit into the display stand hole, and if you try to shove this in there, it could cause some damage. So if you would prefer to display your model on a display stand, I recommend buying a different Gemini jet stand or a third-party stand instead. Here's the model itself. The fuselage length for this model is 15.7 centimeters, the wingspan is 14.2 centimeters, and the height is 4.7 centimeters. These dimensions are accurate to 1:200 scale. As I mentioned earlier, this model is quite heavy for its size because it is made primarily out of die-cast metal. Starting with the fuselage. Overall, the fuselage is pretty decent. I only have two complaints. The first and most significant of which is the cockpit window printing. Now, I'm not going to complain about the nose shape because I checked it against images of the real aircraft and the nose shape is correct. What gives it the strange appearance is the cockpit window printing. They are printed too low along the fuselage and they are also tilted at a slight angle. You can kind of see that they are slanted forwards, like the two center windows are slanted relative to the side windows. So yeah, the cockpit window printing really throws off the appearance, but everything else is fine. Let's move down the fuselage now. We can see all sorts of detail along the fuselage. There's the United Express title, no complaints on that. Although, well actually, okay, so first on the eye here, I see a little paint imperfection where my pointer's at. That's no biggie. But what I'm getting at is, I do see that the distance between the windows and the United title does kind of decrease as we go along from left to right on the United Express title. Not that big of a deal, but it's something I noticed. You won't see that from far away though, so it's not a huge deal. The vertical stabilizer looks very nice. It has some recessed panel line for the rudder right here. The paint fade from the light blue to the almost black looks pretty good. The paint colors and paint application are nicely done. No complaints on that, and the shape is correct. The story is almost the same on the right side, however, in the recessed panel line, in the paint fade right here, I do see some printing inconsistencies. That's really nothing though, so it's not a huge deal. Here is the right side of the fuselage. Overall, it's pretty much the same as the left side. You will see a small difference in stenciling and small details, but these differences are accurate. Now, normally I don't provide so much commentary for the right side of the fuselage. However, there is something I'd like to talk about. If you look at the Rhapsody Blue line right here, you might notice that there's some blue paint spattering coming off of it. This is a phenomenon I believe is referred to as paint spidering, and this is unfortunately an issue that I've seen on Gemini Jets models. Now, it's not very common, but unfortunately mine had it, and I guess I missed it while inspecting it at first. But really, it's not that big of a deal, but I do want to bring that to your attention that it is possible that your model has this if you choose to purchase this one. The wings on this model feature the three types of detail that we look for on die-cast commercial airliner wings. First, clearly defined and accurately shaped recessed panel lines for the control surfaces, both on the trailing edge right here and the leading edge with the slats. Two different paint colors. It doesn't have to explicitly be two, but it is the case on this model. The gray color for most of the wing looks good, and the silver on the leading edge slats also looks very nice. And of course, we have some small printed details with the walk area here and some small stenciling right there. Overall, very nicely done, no complaints. The wing is firmly attached to the fuselage. I haven't seen any reports of these being broken, and the seam is acceptable. On the underside, the story is likely, or largely the same. I don't know why I said likely there. Sorry about that. Maybe a bit of a gap here, but again, structural integrity is without question. And the recessed panel lines down here look very nice for the flaps. We don't really have any printed detail because it doesn't need to be. And overall, very good on the wings. Now, the wingtips on this model are quite good as well, but they aren't perfect. If the camera will focus, that would be just nice, but it never does when I need it to. All right, so I'm going to try and show you them this way. There we go. You guys are going to have to just look at them upside down. So the overall shape is correct. My only problem is the stub here for the light. This is extended too far out. I understand it is an accurate detail, but on the real aircraft, you can barely see it, so we shouldn't be able to see it almost at all on a scale replica. Also, some silver paint either got spattered here or... Yeah, I think this is a silver paint spatter because this doesn't feel like a paint chip. So, yeah, paint application wasn't perfect, but that's just a really small issue, so it's really not the end of the world. Here's the one on the right side, and the angle at which these winglets sit relative to the wing is accurate. I don't see any signs of deformation or warping, so that's good to see. Overall, the wings on this model are pretty solid. We just saw some imperfections on the winglets, but that's no biggie. The horizontal stabilizers don't have much going for them. They're executed very nicely. I don't have any complaints other than that, well, really, they're fine. I'll just show them to you since we're back here. So far, so good. The APU is also pretty decent. It's painted a silver color, and then we have a black paint spot for the exhaust. That looks nice as well. Right from here, let's transition onto the engines. Same deal with the engines. The engines on this model are pretty decent. They're not perfect in that this little detail right here kind of looks like a paint chip. It's not. It's a detail. It is too far forward along the pylon. It should be printed a bit far back. Also, the blue paint at the tip here, it should extend a bit further down so we don't see that gray line right there. That's really a production issue, so it's not the end of the world. Now, with regards to the engines themselves, the nacelle and the exhaust nozzles look fantastic. The shape is correct. The different colors of paint on the engine exhaust nozzle and even the chevrons back there, those look very nice. The fan detail is decent. There isn't any spinner spirals because I don't believe these aircraft actually have any spinner spirals, at least on these engines. But yeah, the fan detail looks good. These fans, I do not believe they spin. Yeah, no, they're kind of stuck in position there. And the underside of the engine nacelles feature a lot of small, fine printed details, all of which look very nice. There's the one with the right engine there. No complaints. This model features three-dimensional details on its fuselage, those being gemmed lights and antennas. At the front top half of the fuselage, we've got a gemmed light right here and this antenna. These look very good. The gemmed light is sticking out a little bit from behind, but not by much. It's not going to come off or anything. And the antenna here looks very nice. It's mounted securely and it's not bent or anything, and the shape is correct. Moving towards the top rear of the fuselage, we have another one of those interesting looking antennas. This is technically incorrect. The antenna shape for this one at the rear should be slightly different from the one at the front, but given that this is, it's really a small detail, I think I can reasonably let that slide. And then, of course, we have one of these generic antennas right here. This looks fine. So all of the antennas up here look good. I didn't see any attachment issues with any of them. And same story down here. We've got some more antennas. This antenna here is also wrong. Like I said earlier, it should be slightly different from the one that we first saw. But again, not really that big of a deal. And then another small antenna right here. Towards the wing box right here, we've got another gemmed light. This one looks pretty nice. And last but not least, we have the large antenna, or whatever this thing really is. I'm not too sure. This looks fine. The shape looks correct. I do see a bit of paint texturing on there, but it's really not the end of the world. Let's take a look at the bottom half of the fuselage now. Take note of the extensive fine detailing, especially near the wing box. Lots of small printed details, which are excellent. The gray color on the belly, it does appear kind of with a warm color to it, if that makes sense, like warm in terms of color temperature, but in real life, trust me, the color's fine. It's the gray that it needs to be. While we're down here, let's talk about the landing gear. The landing gear on this model is permanently extended, unlike other 1:200 scale die-cast commercial airliners, so if you wanted to have yours retracted, unfortunately, we don't have that option. The landing gear struts, or the main gear struts rather, they look pretty good. The gaps are not filled with any sort of flash, and the gear doors here, look rather interesting. I don't believe the door or the wheel cover, the strut cover here, that's what it is. This is a strut cover. I don't believe they're supposed to be angled like that, but if they are, I'm wrong on that. The wheels do roll. They roll smoothly, and they are made out of rubber. It's always nice to see. Same story for the nose gear. The nose gear is pretty nice. The wheels roll, and they're made out of rubber. The strut looks good. The printing on the door also looks fine. Really solid job. Here's the side of the model. Here we can see how the landing gear, or how the model sits on its landing gear. It has a slight angle upwards at the nose, which is accurate to the E-175. The engine clearance looks good. No complaints. Here's my signature steering contest. Wing flex looks good. Engine clearance, again, we talked about that earlier. That looks fine. Vertical stabilizer looks a little bit slanted towards the right side of the aircraft, left side of your screen. That actually looks like a gear balance issue because the whole fuselage is kind of slanted. Cockpit windows, we talked about that earlier. The printing on them is a little bit whack, but up here, gear balance isn't perfect, but it's still acceptable, I guess. That concludes my review. Let's talk about the pros and cons. What's good about this model? There's a lot that's good about this model, in my opinion. There's lots of fine detailing on the fuselage, especially on the bottom half that we just saw. The overall shape of the model reflects the E-175 pretty accurately. The only issue in terms of shape that I remember is the light tips on the winglets, and that's really not the end of the world. Paint application seemed mostly consistent throughout. We did see a few imperfections here and there, like the stuff on the large antenna. It's not a huge deal. Paint colors are accurate as well. That's nice to see. I don't have any complaints there. And overall, it's a pretty solid model. Now, what isn't too good about this model? The cockpit window printing, that's a big one. The antenna inaccuracies, that's a really small nitpick. Most of you guys can live with that, but there are some of you who would like to know that, myself included, so that's why I pointed that out. Also, yeah, the wingtip lights, not too great. And then we did see a paint chip, or not a paint chip, a silver paint splatter on the inside of the left winglet. And then last but not least, that gear balance was a little bit off. So taking all of this into consideration, what do I think about this model? I think it's solid nonetheless. Therefore, I recommend this model to other collectors. It's not perfect. No model airplane will ever be perfect, but it's still a solid representation of the United Express E-175. It's the only one we have in the 1 to 200 scale market right now, and with its imperfections, I still think it's pretty solid. Well, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have questions or feedback, be sure to leave a comment down below. If you're new to the channel and you want to show some support, go ahead, like this video and subscribe so you never miss another upload. While you're here, feel free to watch my other videos about the scale models and memorabilia I collect. Happy building, happy collecting. Please take good care of yourselves, and for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, stay warm because winter's coming, and I'll see you next time.